How many of you have a dream of cracking one of the toughest exams of our country? Maybe CA, IIT, NIT, UPSC? Yes? Please raise your hands. Wow, many of you. And how many of you have heard that if you have to crack that exam, you need to study at least 12 to 14 hours a day? Raise your hand if you have heard that. Fantastic, almost everyone. If you talk about the general statistics of students clearing these exams, on an average only 5% to 15% student, they succeed. Let's take 10% selection rate on an average. Which brings us to this question that what are these 10 students doing differently which these 90 are not? Is it that these 10 students, they are more talented, blessed ones? Not always. Because if talent is everything, then why do we say that hard work beats the talent when the talent doesn't work hard? So is it that these 10 students are the most hardworking ones? Let me drop a truth bomb here. Lakhs of students, they study for 12 to 14 hours and they still fail. So no, it's not just talent. It's not IQ, it's not luck, and it's not even about hard work. It's about right work. It's about having the right strategy. It's about smart work. Hi everyone, I am Ayushi Garg, a chartered accountant by qualification and a smart study coach by passion. I help students score more marks in exam by studying less. Sounds like a dream come true? It all started with me. Back then, I was a classic hard-working student, long on study hours, high on discipline, always become the top 3 of my class. But no matter how hard I try, I would never become the topper. In the year 2009, I attended one seminar. It was about memory and power of subconscious mind. After that, something within me shifted. I stopped studying like a machine because I learned how to study right. Results? I became the topper of my school effortlessly. Half of the study and a lot more fun. And with this, I realized nothing is truly hard or difficult. If something feels hard, it just means that you don't know how to do it yet. And I became a learner for life. I read hundreds of books. Success, positive thinking, law of attraction, subconscious mind, and learned so many techniques, experimented with them all, and built and created my own unique study genius framework. And it worked wonders. It helped me clear and crack exams like CS and CFA along with my full-time job also. When students were studying for 14 hours a day and still failing in CA final exams, I just studied for 8 to 10 hours and I succeeded in the first attempt itself. Now, during pandemic, when I saw so many students struggling, feeling overwhelmed, stressed, anxious, and stuck, I knew I had to help. So I made it my mission to teach this to others. I started with just a batch of 6 students, and I'm very glad to share with you all that today more than 25,000 students from 6 different countries have learned smarter ways of studying with me. And I had a privilege of personally mentoring 1,500 plus students in cracking their competitive exams, not by studying hard, but by studying smart. So today, I will share with you my top 5 strategies which has helped me and my students score more by studying less. So guys, are you all excited to learn? Come on. Wow, amazing. Now students need to study 12 to 14 hours a day to clear this exam. Imagine Somebody asks you to play cricket 12 to 14 hours a day. How long would you be able to play? A day? A week? A month? I'm pretty sure even if you love cricket, you'll get burned out and give up in between. Now, if you cannot play a sport as interesting as cricket, forget about playing yourself. You cannot even sit and watch a sport for like 12 to 14 hours a day. What makes you think that you can sit and study 12 to 14 hours a day, every day for months and years? Solution. Elon Musk says, if you give yourself 1 year to clean the room, you will take 1 year. But if you give yourself just 1 hour to clean the room, you can do that in 1 hour. So next time, instead of giving yourself the luxury of studying entire day, challenge yourself. Challenge yourself to do the same work in half of the time. Less hours, more focus. Remember, less is more. Similarly, instead of reading 10 different books one time in a year, stick to 1 or 2 books and read it 10 times. Less books, more repetition. Less content, more clarity. So the key number 1 is less is truly more. And it's not laziness, it's genius. Coming to the second key, let's say you have $100 to buy a notebook, okay? The shopkeeper he gives you 1 book for $100. You go to the second shop, it gives you same book but 2 of them. Which one will you buy it from? Second one? It's a no-brainer. Now let's apply this logic to our studies also. Let's say chapter number 1 gives you 10 marks in exam and chapter number 2 gives you 20 marks in exam. Which one will you go for? Second, right? Wrong. Most of the students, they just chase big marks without even thinking how much time they are investing in reading that chapter. Time is your true currency. What if I tell you this chapter number 1, it will take you just 1 hour and gives you 10 marks, and this chapter number 2, it gives you 20 marks but it will take 4 hours. Then which one will you go for now? First one, right? So treat your time as a currency. Always see the return on time invested, and which is your second key. Trade your time wisely. For that, always calculate marks per hour. How do you do that? Estimated marks in exam divided by estimate time you need to cover that chapter. Simple? Alright. Now, most of the students, they fail in exam not because they don't study, but because they can't revise quickly. Think about it. Students, they study for weeks, months and years, but one night before exam, they panic because they don't remember anything. Are they done with their syllabus and studies? Yes, but not in a way that they can revise it one night before exam. You need to study for 1 day before exam, not the exam day. So every night before you go to bed, hear me out. You need to ask yourself these 2 questions. Number 1, if I studied something for 10 hours today, can I write it after, let's say, couple of months in my exam without revising it again? If the answer is yes, good job. If the answer is no, then ask yourself, if I cannot write the answer without revising, so what I studied for 10 hours today, can I revise it within 1 hour before my exam day? If the answer is yes, good job. If the answer is no, then congratulations. You just wasted 10 precious hours of your life studying something you won't remember anyways. Now, how to overcome this? For this, I teach students 1 by 10th rule, which means if you are studying something for 10 hours today, you got to make sure that you can revise it just 1 hour before your exam day. How can you do it? You can prepare summarized notes, you can record voice notes, and you can revise as many times as possible. So the key number 3 is prepare for the day before exam. Do not just aim to complete the syllabus, aim to complete in a way that you can revise everything one day before exam. How to do that? Apply 1/10th rule. Okay? Now coming to the 4th key, how many of you it has happened that you studied something very well, but after a month or 2, you don't remember anything? Raise your hand. Almost everyone. Now, science says 80% of whatever you are studying, you will forget it within 72 hours. So, it's not a student problem, but it's a brain wiring problem. Let me ask you, how many of you it has happened that you met somebody and after a few months when you meet them again, you remembered their face but you struggle to recollect their names? Has it happened? Almost everyone. But has it ever happened that you remembered their name but forgotten their face? Almost never. Why? Our brain is wired to remember images, movies and emotions and not the words. And because of that, you can remember every scene of movie without even watching it multiple times, but you forget the text from your textbook no matter how many times you read. So your visual memory, it's more powerful than your audio memory. Now use that more while studying. How can you do that? Simple. Turn the facts into stories, into jokes, use colorful diagrams, doodles, and don't just sit and study, but also see what you study, which is your 4th key. Okay, use your visual memory, use your visual brain, right? Coming to the 5th key, Bob Proctor said that if you can see something here, you can hold it here in your hands. Majority of students, they study so hard day and night, but somehow they are not able to believe that they will succeed. What if I tell you that all of us, we have a genie sitting within us, and the only thing genie does is listen to our inner talk, our inner conversation, and make it a reality. Surprising? I can prove it to you. So everyone, I request you to please stand up. Yes, everyone. Loose your body a bit and keep both of your hands like this, parallel to each other at your shoulder level and at least 1 feet distance. Yeah, bit apart from your shoulders. Okay? Now I want you to imagine that on your right hand there is a 10 kg book. Okay, there is a bag holding 10 kgs of book holding to your right hand, tied to your right hand. On your left hand you have 10 helium balloons tied up to your left hand. Okay, everyone will now close their eyes and imagine 10 kgs book on your right hand, 10 helium balloons on left hand. Yes, close your eyes and imagine this. Right hand, 10 kg books, left hand, 10 helium balloons. Right hand, 10 kg books, left hand, 10 helium balloons. Right hand, 10 kg books, left hand, 10 helium balloons. Right hand, 10 kg books, left hand, 10 helium balloons. Now without moving your hand, open your eyes. See which hand feels heavy and which one dropped. If your right hand dropped, you may please take your seats back. Magical, mind-blowing, isn't it? But it's not magic, okay? It's the power of thought. Now see, you studying day and night and saying to yourself things like, oh, I'm a slow learner, I have a bad memory, probably I'll fail. The genie within you listens and says, Tathastu. Your wish is my command. I'm going to make it come true. So speak to yourself wisely. Say to yourself, I'm a genius. I have a sharp memory. Success is mine. And guess what the genius will do? Make it yours. So the key number 5 is believe in yourself. If you have to achieve anything in your life, you have to be unreasonably, irrationally, impracticably positive. That is the only way. If you don't believe it, you won't achieve it. So believing is the key to achieving. So key number 5 is believe in yourself, because if you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hands. Always remember. To all the students and parents listening to me, let me leave you with a final thought. Studying, it's not hard and difficult. But studying with confusion, stress, and not having a proper system is what makes it hard for you. Success in exam, it's not about studying more. It's about studying the right way. And studying is a skill. It's an art. Just like you can learn driving, swimming, coding, you can learn how to study as well. You don't have to be born intelligent. You don't have to be studying all the time in the day in your life. All you need to do is just learn how to study. The problem with students is we are making them fall in love with the idea of studying hard without making them fall in love with studies, without teaching them how to study. All you need is a right strategy. All you need is a smart way of doing it. And once you do that, success, my friends, it's inevitable. Thank you so much.